It's Thursday, 11 o'clock, and it's time for this week's festive watch drop. As part of this week's festive theme, I'm wearing this frankly awful jumper, so apologies in advance. But I'm going to focus on 4 watches that are going to really make up for it. Firstly, one from Patek. This is an Ellipse 3848 with Breguet numerals and Breguet hands. It's an extremely rare iteration of this watch. The case size is 27 by 32, which a lot of people find small. I genuinely think it wears so well. If you like Cartier, or even if you like some early Calatravis, Patek Calatravis. I love the gold on gold, and I do think that the Ellipse is overlooked at the moment, particularly the smaller sizes and those coming from the sort of 70s and 80s. It's ultra thin. It has all of the details that you would want from an Ellipse, so the sort of hidden lugs behind the case, the Ellipse buckle, which I just adore. I think it's such a great detail, and it's got the perfect proportions. Some of the more modern ellipses are a little bit too bulky and lose that sort of golden ratio that they call it. But this one has all of the characteristics that you would want from a Patek dress watch, and particularly one from the sort of neo-vintage era. Really, really special thing, and a manual wind caliber too. Moving on. The Patek 5140, an absolute icon from the brand. Now, this was a successor to the 3940, which I'm wearing today. And it was introduced in 2006, 2007. And they took the design of the 3940 and just ramped it up to make it a little bit more modern. The case size has increased from 36 to 37 millimeters. The font size and the subdials feel just more prevalent, I suppose, on that dial. They jump out a little bit more than they did in the 3940, which is a little more subtle. But it keeps all of those characteristics that just make it that icon. Obviously a Perpetual Calendar, obviously with a Calatrava cross, deployant buckle, and on a black alligator. I just think it's an amazing thing. It really is. What more could you ask for? Moving on now to a couple of watches from Vacheron, another Holy Trinity brand. And I'm going to jump into this 1921 reissue. We had a really interesting conversation as part of the Big Watch survey recently, where Justin Hast, who owns one of these, was talking about the importance of reissues done well. Certainly there are some examples that we can all talk about where reissues aren't done quite so well, but this one takes the original 1920s design and brings it to the modern day. As part of the wider Historiques line from the brand, I think they've really got that formula of reissuing icons down to a T. This one keeps all of the great details from the original. The dial is so much more legible because it's a 40mm watch, but you've still got that contrast between the Breguet indices and the sort of creamy off-white, almost sort of silvery champagne-y dial finish. And Breguet hands again, there's a theme. I love this watch. I love the fact that a lot of people talk about it as a driver's watch, and some even go so far as wearing it on the inside of their wrist. I know the story to be one of a preacher who wanted to be able to read his sermons and not have to take his eyes off the audience to tell the time. And I love that. Whichever story you choose to pick, it's a really cool little, I guess discussion point amongst watch collectors. I love the idea of the crown at it's 12 o'clock, but it's off center. And that almost brings that sort of romanticism that you often see from Cartier, frankly. It's just a great watch. It really is. It works so well today, and it worked so well 100 years ago too. And the final Vacheron I want to talk about today is an overseas. It's part of the 4500V line, but this one has a reference B146. A little bit nerdy, but it's a production that came out around 2016, 2017. It was only around for a year or so, and it has a brown dial. And I think the reason that they stopped its production back then was that brown wasn't particularly popular. Right now, I think brown is absolutely in vogue, and there are lots of people that are now bringing out brown dials as part of their line. You look at Rolex with the day dates. Brown is a very strong dial combination, particularly with gold. But this one with stainless steel also works so well. Over the last few years, we've seen the price of this watch reach the heady heights of £50,000+. And now I'm pleased to say that the values are right back down towards close to retail. And so you get to have and enjoy a really iconic steel sports watch, but this one with just a nice little tweak that makes it that much rarer than the blue dials and the white dials, etc. Really lovely watch, particularly this time of year. I think brown just works. And just to finish, I'm going to touch on one special watch that's caught my eye. Special not necessarily in terms of value, but interest. This is the Tudor Black Bay 41 Harrods 175th anniversary special edition. I mean, we've seen Black Bay Harrods before, but this one in two-tone with a Harrods green NATO and a Harrods green dial, and even a tiny little Harrods symbol in the center of the seconds hand. I just think this watch is so much fun and really quite a rare thing too. They only produced 175 that went to good customers, and it's really nice to be able to see this. I really enjoy it. So that's this week's drop. We've got a really great mix of Pateks and Langers, Mosers, FP Journe, Laurent Ferrier, pretty much something for everyone. So I'm going to take this Moser Streamliner to match my jumper, and all that's left, I guess, is to say Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for supporting our channel and our company. Have a great Christmas, and we'll see you in January for the next drop.